Hello, and welcome to the English with Colin Podcast, a podcast for English language learners. My name's Colin, I'm an English teacher in Tokyo, and if you're looking to improve your English skills and gain more confidence in your ability to communicate in English, you've come to the right place. In these episodes, I'll provide you with short conversations in English that cover a range of topics, from everyday situations to more specialised subjects. These conversations are designed to help you practice your listening skills and pick up new vocabulary and grammar along the way. Regular listening practice is key to improving your English, and I hope this podcast will become a valuable resource for you on your language learning journey. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the conversation. And remember, the more you listen, the more you'll learn. This is episode 21, and today's topic is the Tokyo bucket list, essential attractions for every traveller. Hey Sue.
Hey.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm very well. So today we're talking about the bucket list, and a bucket list is simply a list of things that you want to do before you die. We have a phrase, to kick the bucket, in English, so we have this idea of a bucket list. So today it's attractions, places to visit when you come to Tokyo. Tokyo is a huge city, so we have a list of places that you might want to visit. So Sue, I want your opinions on each of these, whether you think they should be on the bucket list or not. Number one is the Tokyo Sky Tree.
The Tokyo Sky Tree, it's an impressive place.
Mm-hmm.
You go there, I think around, well, it's a pretty area, but it's pretty much like you go to the Sky Tree. And it's more than enough. It's very, very big. It's very many different levels.
Right.
And incredible shops.
Well, that's the thing. The Sky Tree is not just the tower.
No.
You've got, I think it's Solamachi kind of shopping mall, which is attached to it. So if you go to, the strange thing, if you go to the Sky Tree, you have to queue twice. You queue once, and they tell you when you can come back and start queuing again.
In order to go all the way up.
Right.
To the
observation
area. Yeah, but it's not a bad idea because, as I said, it's a shopping center, really. And it's a specialized shopping center, I would say.
For tourists.
Yeah.
So it's good if you're wanting to get souvenirs, little kind of special Tokyo...
Good quality.
Japanese items. Good quality.
Good quality. A lot of options.
Yeah.
All very Japanese. You would want to buy everything.
Right. So, Sky Tree on the bucket list?
Absolutely, yes.
Next, we have Sensoji Temple, which is in the Asakusa district. I would put this on the bucket list, especially if you're not going to Kyoto. If you're going to Kyoto, you will see enough temples and shrines in Kyoto. But if you're only visiting Tokyo, I think Sensoji Temple is probably the best Buddhist temple to visit.
But it has a uniqueness, a Tokyo uniqueness, I think, because going into the temple, you have little stalls.
Right, yes. It's called Nakamise Dori, Nakamise Street. So yeah, lots of little stalls selling food, again, little kind of souvenir items. That's nice.
It's very nice and it's interesting, and you can stop and see. Also, I mean, near Asakusa, there's, like you said, like in Kyoto, many places where you can rent a kimono for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And that's more than enough. So you can go
It's more than enough because you get quite tired.
You get tired.
Wearing the kimono.
But they're always very, very nice, very happy to help and dress up. And even you can do your hair and everything in the same place.
Yeah.
And walk around and take pictures. So that's definitely a good memory.
Yeah.
To keep.
We were around Sensoji Temple for the fireworks one year.
Oh, yes, that was fantastic.
We watched the summer fireworks. Okay, so that makes it onto the list. Next, we have Meiji Shrine, which is quite central. It's in Shibuya, and this is a Shinto shrine dedicated to the Emperor Meiji and Empress Shoken. We like that area.
It's beautiful.
If we're in that area, we often will just wander through. It's a huge park. The shrine is right in the middle of the park.
But it's also quiet, and you just feel you're not in the city anymore.
True.
And I think that's a great part of its beauty.
Yeah. And you'll often see a wedding. If you hang around the main buildings of the shrine long enough, you'll probably see a wedding because there's many weddings every day.
That is true.
So yeah, Meiji Shrine. If you're in Tokyo for New Year, you can try to go to the shrine at New Year. The queue is pretty big to get your good fortune for the coming year. Okay, next on the list is the Tsukiji Fish Market. Now this is one that has been on people's bucket list for a long time, but there's been a big change in recent years. So the market, part of the market has moved to another place called Toyosu. And especially the auction for the tuna is now done at Toyosu.
Yes, but I think they also made it a little bit more clearer if you wanted to see the auction.
Right.
They could do their job.
True.
And then you could also watch without interrupting.
It was a little bit dangerous.
It was.
Because it's a functioning, working market. But now they've got a much clearer distinction. Around Tsukiji, there's still another market, what was called the outer market, I think is still there. And yeah, a great place to go and eat.
Go early, yes.
Go early.
It's, for many, might sound strange to have sushi or fish in the morning, but it's great.
Yeah.
I cannot explain it, but it is delicious for breakfast.
So yeah, Toyosu we haven't been to yet, but yeah,
you can put it in our bucket list.
It's on our bucket list. There's some changes in recent years. Next we have the Shibuya Crossing. This has to be on your bucket list if you're visiting Tokyo, right?
It's so famous, and it's impressive, especially when it's very full. When there's not so many people, it's not that impressive. But right. I think the impressive thing, what everyone wants, is that amount of people just crossing at the same time in all directions. Several
roads. The traffic lights go red at the same time, and just you can walk in any direction across there. So go on a Friday night or go on a Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and you'll see it kind of at its peak. And around that area, there's been a lot of development.
They've built new areas, and it's given that area like a new feel. I think very nice.
Yeah, so Miyashita Park is not far away, and you also have the Shibuya Scramble building as well. So there's a lot of development going on. They are nearly finished. Some of them, it's been years of work, but an interesting area. Okay, we'll try and get through a few more here. Tokyo Station area.
I really like that area.
And which is right next to the Imperial Palace.
Yes. It has a different feeling.
Yeah,
that area.
it feels like New York. It feels like Manhattan.
Yes, in a way.
Just the way the streets are laid out. Tokyo Station's a beautiful building. I really like the architecture there. On the outside, once you go inside, you don't feel the architecture in the same way. But
before you get into the train station, you can see the domes,
right,
and those are incredible.
Yeah,
that's
what I mean about the architecture on the outside is very impressive. Once you get into the station, it's like a normal station,
but very big.
But very, very big. You can get easily lost if you're not sure. The Imperial Palace, you can't go into the palace. Some of the gardens you can go into. You can walk around the outside of the palace, but yeah, I think it's a nice area to walk around. You'll see lots of people jogging. It's quite a popular jogging route around the palace. Okay. Harajuku. Harajuku, I think, is an interesting place to see. I think it's changed. It wasn't maybe 10 or 15 years ago. It had a very different vibe. It used to be a bit more edgy. The fashion was a bit more edgy. These days, if you go to Harajuku, there'll be lots of junior high school girls in big groups wandering around eating crepe, big crepes and whatever. Yeah, little fashion boutiques, cafes, those kind of things.
It's a great place just to spend your afternoon, just walking around and looking at little shops. Yeah, it again, it has its own feeling to it.
Yeah, true. That's true. And it's a good location because it's very close to several things. It's very close to the Meiji Shrine. It's very close to Yoyogi Park. And it's also very close to Omotesando. So Omotesando is kind of like Fifth Avenue in New York.
The very expensive shops are there. Very expensive boutiques. But again, very nice just to walk around and have a look.
Mm-hmm. Okay, a few more here. Tokyo Disneyland. Disney Sea. Now, Tokyo Disney Sea, it's the only Disney Sea in the world, is that right?
I'm not sure. Probably,
I think it is. So Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea are right next to each other. And yeah, if that's your thing, if you're into Disney, if you like that type of thing, I think it's worth visiting.
Absolutely. Get some popcorn.
Have a wander around. If you ask Japanese people what the difference between the two places are, they will tell you, well, Disney Sea, you can buy beer.
Yes, they have a beautiful bar.
Yes, it was on a boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bit of a kind of cocktail bar on one of the boats. But even in other parts of the park, you can buy beer. So that's a big selling point for some people. Okay, what have we got left here? Now, sport. I think going to see some kind of sport when you're in Tokyo is good. Baseball is a big one. It's baseball season just now, and there's baseball games all the time. So many games. I'm used to soccer, which is like 1 or 2 games a week. Baseball just seems to be happening 24 hours a day at this time of year. But yeah, going to see the baseball if you can, it's a nice kind of experience. I would recommend going to see the Yakult Swallows.
Yes.
They have quite an old style stadium. Really good fans. There's a good atmosphere at the matches. It's outdoors. However, our team is the Yomiuri Giants.
It is.
Which is kind of like the Manchester United of baseball in Japan. And they play in Tokyo Dome.
Which is also very impressive.
Which is an incredible atmosphere of its own. But yeah, go and watch the baseball, have some beers. It's a good day. It's a good day out. We need to plan our next baseball trip. The other sport, which I've talked about in a previous podcast, is sumo. Not all year. There's only a certain number of events every year in Tokyo. So if you happen to be here during a sumo tournament, I think it's worth visiting.
Yes, definitely part of a bucket list.
Yeah. Very, very, you get to see that kind of traditional part of Japan very clearly. And the last one I've got on this list is Shinjuku Gyoen.
Our favorite.
Which is our favorite. It's a beautiful park, and it's a park you need to pay. It's not a free to enter park. You need to pay to get in. But it's right in Shinjuku, in one of the most built up parts of Tokyo. And there's lots of kind of different sections to it, which is quite nice. And yeah, as you said, it was one of our favorite places to visit, especially in the springtime or the autumn. Autumn is really nice when it starts to get a bit cool after the summer.
My recommendation would only be try to bring a little bit of food, have a picnic,
right.
Plan not just to walk around the park, but to be in the park. It's worth it.
To spend time in the park.
Yes, to sit down. There's no alcohol.
You can't bring
alcohol, but you can bring in food and other types of drinks. They sell inside the park, but you can bring your own.
Yeah.
And you can have a lovely picnic, and that is a beautiful way to spend your day.
Yeah, I mean, you probably, what we used to do, we used to go to the basement part of Takashimaya, and there you could buy really nice little bento boxes and different types of food. So go and get a nice selection of food, and then the park is 500 meters away from there. And yeah, if you can bring something to sit on as well, some sort of plastic sheet, which you can buy at any 100 yen shop, or maybe even the convenience store. Yeah, that's a nice way to spend it. And after that, the very, very last thing on the list here is to see Shinjuku by night. So one of the images that people have of Japan is the neon lights, the sort of Blade Runner style sort of neon lights. And that is, to my mind, that is Shinjuku at night. So after your day in the park, you'll be in Shinjuku for the lights to come on, and you can enjoy the
atmosphere.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the English with Colin podcast. I hope you enjoyed listening to the conversation and found it helpful in your language learning journey. Remember, the key to mastering a language is regular practice. So make sure you listen to our podcast regularly and keep honing your listening skills. We appreciate your support and feedback. So if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future topics, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. You can find our contact information in the show notes. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to joining you again next time for another conversation in English. Until then, keep practicing and take care.